I've never been that nervous in about 25 years of performing.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, I was physically shaken. I didn't know if I was going to be able to play the guitar properly, to be fair. And mentally, I kind of prepared myself to be like, right, just do the best you can do. And if they don't turn around, that's fine. Just swivel around and walk back.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, your musical experience is part of your heritage to some extent because of your father, really. You have been in this industry probably since, you were in nappies.
Oh, yeah.
and still, that was a nerve-wracking moment for you. That gives you an idea about how much pressure there is.
There's an enormous amount of pressure, and it's built up for you because, I mean, it's just, you're there all day. And also, I think sometimes when you've been in the industry for a longer time, because there's quite a few people who are on the show who have been doing it, for an awful longer than me, and we were the most nervous because I think there's a reputation on the line too.
Yeah.
And I think to be nervous, whereas some people who are a little less experienced don't really realise to have to be that quite so nervous,
Yeah, it must have been, the perfect moment though when Sir Tom turned around because of the connection. And those that will have watched the rest of that audition will have seen a very special moment between you and Sir Tom where you sang a song that your father wrote for him.
Yeah.
How did you hold it together? Because everybody else was in tears.
Well, I was very fortunate the fact that the band didn't know the song well enough to play it from the beginning, so I had to play at the piano, so I could focus on the piano. And I was also heavily focused on Tom singing because the distance between where I was sitting playing the piano and where the chairs are is massive. So Tom was about this big, and I'm going, okay.
Yeah.
He stayed up, okay, he's going to sing, and 4, so it's that kind of a thing I can concentrate on. Because if I didn't, I don't know if I would have been able to hold it together because there is so much emotion involved in it. Because, I mean, it's my dad's, composition that Tom had a massive hit with. It's something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to, number one, talk to Tom and say thanks for doing that. And, thanks for making that something my dad and then us were so proud of. And for him to actually say, do you want to sing it? And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. There was a very gracious moment there, and you kind of, ended perfectly as a duet together. We mentioned in the cue that you were born in London, but actually that was by chance, really, wasn't it? And actually, you spent a lot of time over in the States. Your own music has that country feel. Is that kind of heritage that you had growing up over in America?
Yeah, 100%. Because as a kid, I mean, we were living in California when I was, born. The only reason I was born here in London was actually because Dad was doing panto. He got the call up to come in to stand in for somebody else, and he took over the season for Mr. Cinders, is what he was doing in the West End. And my mum was manager and went everywhere with him, and he went, all right, well, Pete will be born in London then,
Yeah.
And that was how it happened. Then we went off on tour, went back home, after about 3 months, we're back in California.
Yeah.
So I was California, Spain, then Florida, and that's where the country influence comes in for me, as well as my dad's back catalogue of vinyl we had in the house, which was full of Willie Nelson and Waylon Jennings, and I just fell in love with it.
Yeah, your album, Superman, gives you that flavour of the country that is within you as well. Is that what you will kind of take with you as you go through the process of The Voice? Will you want to maintain that kind of country aspect?
Yes, because that's the way my voice naturally lends itself anyway. So I'll always try and add that country tone to things. And the great thing about country music is you are the lyrics first,
Yeah.
And that's what I'll always do, keep the emotion in the song. And that's why we did Bless the Broken Road, the Rascal Flatts hit, for the blind audition.
Let's talk a little bit about what will happen in February the 9th. You're going to be recording a live album.
Going to record a live album, and the special thing about that is the fact that it's in the building which used to be Decca Recording Studios.
Yes.
Now, Decca Records obviously still exists, but it was the label that originally released Rock Island Line, which was my dad's first industry-changing hit, the song that inspired the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and Joe Cocker and Van Morrison, and the list goes on from that generation. So to actually be able to stand in Studio 2 and record another live album in there where Dad recorded that is fantastic. And the other flip side to that is also in the same studios, upstairs is where Tom on Decca recorded I'll Never Fall in Love Again.
Right, so there is real history there for you.
I mean, the building now belongs to the London Opera House anyway,
Yes.
but they've graciously let us use that. And of course, the proceeds from us doing. I mean, it's very small, but we just want to have quite a lot of fans there to record on the live album, so it creates that special moment with them as well, and they can be a part of that atmosphere with us. But the proceeds go to keeping my son's therapy for his autism going, because he's on the spectrum.
Yeah, I know that this is something that you have kind of campaigned for and wanted to raise the awareness of what your son is going through as well. For you, you know, that album, the live recording, will it be new tracks? Will it be versions of Superman as well? what will go into that?
You're going to have the tracks that were on the Superman album, the EP which we recorded in Nashville. You're going to have that. You're going to have some unreleased material as well as the songs which we have featured up until now on The Voice as well. So you will have I'll Never Fall, you will have Bless the Broken Road, and we'll have a little skiffle set just in the middle to pay homage to Dad, because we are on that spot. Yeah,
perfect tribute. You know, do you and Tom text? Has he got your number yet, or we're not at that stage? Where in your friendship are you?
We're in the stage where I have spoken to Tom's son.
Right.
Mark, who's his manager as well, just because we wanted to just have a conversation about that moment and everything. Yeah. But we can't be that, we can't really sit down and have that chat that we'd love to have yet, because it wouldn't be correct, because we're on the show, you have to keep everything, you know, professional, and it wouldn't be fair to everybody else either. Yeah. You know, so we're going to wait till the show's finished, you know, before we can actually sit down and have that good catch up.